if you don't play the game properly, you would be scrutinized. It was more prevalent when I was playing Wuthering Waves. I decided to, you know what, f it. If I'm gonna be called a tourist, I might as well be a tourist all the way, right? So, subscribe! As of this time of recording, which is going to be the Wednesday, right? The Wednesday, I have finished more or less or caught up to most of the gacha games that I've been playing. In particular, Wuthering Waves as well as the Zenless Zone Zero, right? So we've pretty much cleared, like for example, Tower Adversity. We've proved for Camellia. We've tried out in the whatchamacallit. This one. All right. So we have basically cleared out most, if not all, of the endgame content that basically the game has to offer. As with any gacha games, every single time there's an update, there will be new endgame refreshes or brand new endgame content for us to pull for. In the case of Wuthering Waves, is essentially pulling for Camellia, and then we were in fact able to use Camellia to go ahead and just try out in all of the different endgame content, right? So like Infernal Rider, Tower, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be talking about Wuthering Waves first, and then we are going to be talking about Zenless Zone Zero in a separate video, because I don't really want to compare two games with one another, because even though I said I'm going to be less neutral, I don't really see it as a way to start a war between different games, right? But I'll just give each games their independent, or at least my thoughts so far, right? Because yep, that's how we're gonna be going about it today. And the reason why I wanted to talk about Wuthering Waves first, specifically, if you guys have seen the title of today's video, it is going to be called "Is Wuthering Waves Too Easy?" The reason why I wanted to talk about it is because, as per one of my earlier videos that I've made when I came back from war, is that I decided to change up my streaming schedule a little bit, where instead of me trying my absolute hardest to learn every single character, make guides for Wuthering Waves, make guides for Zenless Zone Zero, make guides and just learn all that and just play the games 24/7 non-stop, I decided to, you know what, fuck it. If I'm gonna be called a tourist, I might as well be a tourist all the way, right? So I have officially more or less just gonna be relegating myself to the role of a player. Specifically for, at least for Wuthering Waves, in my opinion, I basically picked up Camellia, watched a Gacha Smack guide, shout out to Gacha Smack, teaching us that the wide mode is gonna be dealing 1% more damage than the raid mode, and that is essentially it. We actually managed to get a pretty solid, in my opinion, clear with Camellia for the current endgame content in Wuthering Waves, which is honestly quite shocking to me, because I think at the start of the way Wuthering Waves was gonna be advertised since the start, is that it is meant to be like a more Souls-like game. It's a more difficult game, especially if you guys remember back in the days when we were trying to like clear Tempest Memphis 6 back then. We spent like 6 hours, and we had Rexton coaching us, and eventually we finally cleared it with Dungeon, right? That was really something else. Today, when I came back to Camellia, it turns out that even though I wouldn't say we got it on our very first try, because technically we didn't get our very first try, but after like our, I believe, second try for Infernal Rider, second try for Tempest Memphis, when we're using a full team, and I believe our first try for the level 100 monkey, it was actually relatively okay. In fact, we actually managed to 3-star the most difficult floor, which is the floor in the middle, the red floor, with 1 second remaining. And that was with like no guides. That was basically chat telling me that, oh, in order to play Camellia, you press and hold a button, and you press a skill whenever the button lights up. And then you ultimate whenever, right? So I have no idea what is the proper rotation. I have no idea what's her best and support. My Sanhua was level 60, so I didn't even use Sanhua. I basically just went double sustain and just basically tried her out with like pure instincts. Then we just dodged, spin to win, press out, press skill, get hit all over the place. And we still managed to, quite luckily for us, get the 3-star clear with, okay, you guys might be thinking I'm like fucking unreadable. With a, I would say a not the worst, maybe not the worst. Apparently, according to my chat, this is a dog shit Camellia because she doesn't have 300 crit damage. So I'm missing quite a lot of crit value here. So do excuse my shitty Camellia. With our E0 S0 Shorekeeper and our E2 Verena, E2S0 Verena. Alright, so luckily for us, we managed to get this, which is honestly a very good item to have. So yeah, it was actually a lot more comfortable than expected. I'm not sure whether this is because of the unit itself, or is it just because of the game content itself. But I think Camellia was a very nice to use unit. You know, she was very comfy. She allowed us to get our damage in. And even though we didn't know how to min-max, how to optimize, how to Kara cancel, negative edge, swap back, front swap, back swap, side swap, go around in circle, negative. Like, even though we didn't really know all that anymore, I feel like I still managed to get quite a bit of enjoyment when we managed to clear all of the endgame content, specifically for the Infernal Rider fight. The Infernal Rider fight, that was really something else, right? Because it was a very chaotic fight, and my chat told me there was no way in God's green earth I was gonna clear with Camellia, because we did it for both Tempest Memphis and Infernal Rider. And then chat was like, don't try Infernal Rider. Don't try Infernal Rider because it's gonna be like super fucking difficult. And then like when I said, you know what, let's just do it, and then everyone was spamming clueless, and we got it our second try. So, second or third try, I don't know. But it was actually not too shabby, which brings me to the point of today's video. I don't think Wuthering Waves is a difficult game. Some might even say Wuthering Waves is easy, but I still think it's a really fun game. And this is the main gist of what I wanted to talk about today. Does a game's fun value have to be correlated with the game's difficulty value? So my chat thinks I'm starting war, but I want to think of it more of like a discussion-based video, right? And I'll leave it up to you guys. So for me personally, I don't think they are, or rather, I don't think they have to be always mutually inclusive. Like, you have to be difficult for it to be fun. And for the longest time, I think there has been this narrative where it's like, oh my god, Wuthering Waves is like, oh my god, there's so many things, there's so many rotations, you gotta learn the boss moves, everything was so hard, everything better. And that's what makes Wuthering Waves fun. But now I've come to realize, even if the content was not as difficult as it used to be back then, because let's just be real, back then when we were trying Tempest Memphis 6, it was very different from the units that we have now, right? Using a Tanjing compared to using a Camellia is like two completely different feelings. But I still felt fun when I was playing Wuthering Waves. I still think that, oh my god, I'm gonna be called a Kurobot, even though this is a Hoyo show. I still think Wuthering Waves, the combat, it was very satisfying. The dodges, the parries, especially with Camellia, because Blood basically has infinite parries. Perfect for a tourist like myself. And even if I didn't know the intrinsic rotations, the details, in order to maximize my damage, oh my god, absolute fucking highest, 100%, no hit, zero psych, like absolute pinpointing all the optimal stuff. Even if I was just doing Anga Banga, I still managed to find enjoyment, even if it was not the best clears or the best gameplay. And I think that's okay. Something that I've noticed from Wuthering Waves is that I think, maybe not to the consumers, but I feel like as a streamer, if you don't play the game properly, you would be scrutinized. This is not just for Wuthering Waves, but this is for every single game that I've played. If you make a single mistake, for Honkai, for Wuwa, for Zeze, for Genshin, for any game that I've played so far, the moment I make a single mistake, chat will be like, oh my god, wahaha, oh my god, imagine XYZ, imagine, oh my god, he's trash, he doesn't know how to play the game. Tourist, guide maker, by the way, classic, and chat knows it. You know it, I know it, they don't even have to hide it. It happens every single time. But I noticed that this particular sentiment, or at least in my experience, it was more prevalent when I was playing Wuthering Waves. For me, it was okay. I think for me, it's okay because I'm pretty casual. I don't really take what my chat says too hard. But I think if you're someone that's more parasocial and if you let chat affect you, I think that playing Wuthering Waves might not be as enjoyable anymore when you have a lot more backseaters criticizing your every move. And that's a little bit unfortunate because I still find myself enjoying Wuthering Waves even if I make the mistakes. As someone that acknowledges I am nowhere near the best, I'm playing on 300 ping. 300 ping, by the way. Yeah, I've basically just relegated my enjoyment in Wuthering Waves just to play the endgame content here and there, play the story, and get some dopamine from pulling for the units, right? And I think that's okay. Maybe for a viewer or maybe for a community, you guys don't really feel it that much. Because let's just be real, when you guys are playing Wuthering Waves on your phone or your PC at home, you can fail an infinite amount of times. But as long as you get that one perfect run, then you'll be like, oh my god guys, I am him! I am the honor one! Look at this 10 seconds, Tempest Memphis, perfect rotation, everything, all that kind of stuff. I am truly the best of the best of the best. And this can even be extended to, you know, videos where they showcase like pitch perfect clears, right? Like Rexton is an amazing Wuthering Waves content creator. But even he himself acknowledges that to get a perfect run, it takes a lot of tries, right? I think there was this tweet that Rexton posted. It was like there was like 500 gigabytes worth of like failed runs in order for him to get that perfect run. Whenever you do like crazy showcases like solo Yohu or a solo Camilla, it is impressive as fuck. And when people see that, it's like, oh my god, he is him. He is absolutely insane. But unfortunately, because I don't really do these like insane like showcase content of like skills or whatever, when I play the game, it unfortunately will lead to me getting bombarded with wahaha, guy maker by the way, and all that kind of stuff, which I don't really care, but just something to like a food for thought. Going forward, I feel that Wuthering Waves with Camellia, it was very comfortable. She dealt a lot of damage. It makes me wonder if they were to release more units in the future, right? Because Camellia, for me, I feel like she's a very comfortable unit to use. But for more units in the future, how would they make it such that like it is pool worthy for a player? And it really makes me appreciate the comfort of a unit having more intrinsic value than just the absolute highest possible damage that you can deal in this case. I'm just talking about like Zenless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves, and Honkai Starbucks, right? Because I think for Honkai Starbucks, the mindset for a lot of players, or at least in my community, as far as I'm concerned, is that if this unit that comes out cannot deal more damage than the previous unit, is absolutely fucking unplayable. Whereas because of games like Wuthering Waves, it made me realize like comfort is actually a pretty significant factor to consider as someone that's more casual. And this kind of brings me back to Caesar. I shouldn't really be talking about this since it's about Wuthering Waves, but back then when Caesar was announced, I remember so many players were like, fuck this, she's useless, she does no damage, nobody needs fucking Caesar, who the fuck cares about the shield, my Ellen Jo, my Zhu Yuan, Qing Yi, and Nicole deals like 1 billion damage, I don't need her ass. It's like, and now look at where we are, right? So I'm pretty happy with the way Camilla turned out. I'm not sure if she's gonna be able to deal like the absolute highest damage, but she still deals quite a bit of damage in my opinion, and she was very nice to play. At this point, I think we can kind of just sum up this really quick video. In my opinion, okay, maybe it's not Wuthering Waves is easy because it is still dependent on unit, but I feel that it's easier compared to when we first start playing the game at launch. Because you would have probably gotten a lot more units. You would have raised them to level 90. And let's just be real, Wuthering Waves summoning system for the women banner is a lot better than Hoyoverse because you're 100% win rate. So players probably would have gotten that signature weapons as well and dealt like, you know, considerably more damage compared to their 4-star counterparts. Which means, I feel like the player experience, it will get more comfortable going forward into the future. And I think that's okay. I don't think it will be that bad, even if, you know, holograms are not as difficult as what they used to be back then. And frankly speaking, even if you want to play hologram and experience the difficulty spike, you technically can still do so by doing those like self-imposed challenge runs. No gear run, 2-man run, 1-man run, etc. So if you really want to do it, you technically still can. But yeah. I did find myself enjoying Camellia's gameplay quite a bit. Although that being said, Shorekeeper and Verena, it was very nice. Double sustain for the win, by the way. It's like holy, it's like box 2, Japart and Bailu, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's basically what I have in mind. What do you guys think about Wuthering Waves? And remember, like I said at the start of the video, this is specifically pertaining to Wuthering Waves. I'm not drawing any parallels to other games because I find whether you like or don't like the game, it doesn't really have to lead to gacha tribalism, although this is basically impossible on the internet in 2024. There will always be gacha. But for me personally, it is just about Wuthering Waves and Wuthering Waves alone, right? So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the comments below. Just a quick little video that I feel that I want to talk about, especially after we managed to clear the tower as well as the hologram boss fights, right? The next video I'm gonna be talking about is gonna be with regards to Zenless Zone Zero's tower. Stay tuned for that, right? So with that, we have come to the end of today's content. Word of the day is going to be, I can fix her, even though she's kind of flat. Join Twitch, join YouTube, join Discord, join Twitter, all the best for our gacha post. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.